Hello. We'll take the opening comments from Coach Smart, then we'll take the first two questions from Seth Emerson and Mark Weiser.
Open with proud of our guys today. That was a really physical football team we played. Every single time we play them, it's tough. Mark, they play tough, hard-nosed football. They do a tremendous job, all three phases, and they don't make many mistakes. And when you have a team like that, you have to, beat them methodically, and it's tough. They got a really good football team. So proud of our guys. I thought our DNA showed through. Our DNA continues to repeatedly show up. Composure, connection, resiliency, and toughness. Those qualities come through in this team. At halftime, nobody was panicked. Nobody was, nervous. It's a physical football game. We're going to stay aggressive, keep coming at them, and give them a lot of credit. They got a good football team, but I'm proud of our guys and the way so many players have risen up and rose to the occasion. With that, I'll open it up.
Kirby, one thing that stands out about Todd Monken's play calling is that he rides the run or the pass depending on what's working. He kind of zigs when he zags. What can you say about how he's called plays this season and this game in particular?
Well, I think he's done an incredible job when you think about the guys he's had in. I mean, he's taken, tight ends, made them multiple. He's taken backs. He's taken wideouts that weren't necessarily early season starters and done a really good job. I mean, you think about it, he's called the game with what you call it to players, right? Not plays, but players. And when you dial up 19 and 84 and 4 and 3, and those guys continue to make plays 5, I mean, he does a good job of keeping defenses off balance.
Kirby, I want to ask you about the field goal block and the PAT block. How much is that practiced? And did you think at all about accepting the penalty, which obviously turned out to be fortunate that you guys had a chance to block that?
What was that I don't understand on the penalty. Yeah, we practice blocking field goals. we practice that all the time. So, we've been really close this year. We just haven't gotten any. I guess you're talking about the penalty that we could have accepted and backed them up further.
Yeah.
At that point in time, they're doing us a favor by kicking a field goal when we have the lead. So, I mean, all we were going to do is give them 2 more shots, possibly at the end zone, or 1 more shot at the end zone and a field goal. Field goal is doing us a favor. So I don't see it as an advantage to back them up and give them another shot at the end zone. And I always think we have an opportunity to block a field goal because we've got people that care about points. We say that field goal block is part of red zone defense. You want to be good at red zone defense, block field goals. And there's nothing worse or more demoralizing for a team than to get a field goal blocked.
Let's go to Mike Griffith and then to Chip Towers.
Kirby, obviously the defense was really strong all day, but it don't often see 22 play touchdown drives. The final drive, how much of that is trading basically time for yardage there in that situation? Do you play it a little different if you're not running down the clock trying to win a football game there?
I mean, I was talking to Dan during the drive, just telling him that we're eating clock, we're fine, be patient, but it wasn't like it was strategy. I mean, they did a good job. They were keeping us off balance. They were nickel and diming us. We had a couple of times to get off. It's different when you have 4 downs. Now, I don't know how many times on that drives they used 4 downs, but you have to play third down differently because third down becomes second down and fourth down becomes third down. And we didn't get them to fourth down, but maybe once, I'm not sure. And it was real short, but I'd love the way our guys play. They take so much pride and we, they've started a saying on our defense that, not in our end zone, no one in our end zone. And they fought tooth and nail, but give Kentucky credit. They got in there twice.
Coach, I really want to ask you about the offense, and it just obviously you guys opened it up at halftime, like what you saw and what was discussed there, just throwing more and throwing to the tight ends a lot. But I did want to ask on the defense, just calling the timeout with a few seconds left to play and all that. Did you have any problem with kind of the way the game ended?
No, I had a problem with that. How it ended for our players. Guy runs on the field, undisciplined. We blocked in the back on the return there because you can return that kick for 2 points, and that would have been great to score on defense, which we take a lot of pride on. But I mean, my problem was our reaction to the moment and not keeping a good level head on our shoulders. That's my problem. I respect Mark's got a job to do. He's trying to compete and score. I mean, why not? That's what he's trying, as he came here to do, is win the game and score points. So, I mean, I respect that. They had a long drive there.
In the offense, opening up in the second half
Oh,
offensively?
yeah. I'll be honest with you, Chip. It wasn't like we getting there and said, "Oh man, we got to throw the ball." I mean, we didn't say that. We ran the ball. We had some good runs in the first half. You know, we had some negative lost yardage plays that hurt us, put us behind the chains. But you know, it's not like, I mean, I say it all the time: be aggressive, take what they give you, and if they continue to lower the safeties, put them in the box, and you know, they were bent on not letting us run the ball, which I really think we could run the ball. But if it's easier to throw it and it keeps them off balance and you're rolling, we did a good job in the passing game and didn't do as good early in the passing game as maybe we should have.
All right, let's go to Anthony Dasher, and then we'll come back to Ivan Maisel.
Hey, Coach. I asked you again about the defensive stand at the end of the third quarter, and then again at the end of the game where the guys don't fought like heck, keep them out. How does those three examples kind of speak to that DNA that you're talking about, that they would really bust their tail so much to keep the other team out of the end zone?
It's just pride. It's pride in performance. It's a standard of excellence that we want. It doesn't matter if it's offense, defense, or special teams. You know, like you go out there, you compete at your highest level to be the best in the country. And that doesn't change. It doesn't change regardless of the scoreboard, the situation, the time in the game. It doesn't matter. And when you play like that, it kind of makes it where your focus is on getting better, not on stats and where you land. And our kids, you know, offense, defense, and special teams played really hard. I did not think that we had the kind of special teams games we need to affect games.
Ivan Maisel, do you have a question?
I'm good. Thanks, Claude.
Okay, let's go to Dean Legge, and then we'll come back to Pat Forty.
Kirby, two things. First of all, Kendall's fumble recovery there. It seemed like everybody they didn't blow the whistle, but it seemed like everybody thought it was an incompletion, and just everybody on the field stopped except Kendall, and he goes and gets it. How important was that play? And then secondly, you know, it's been a long season already. What's this next week going to be like for y'all not having?
Yeah, the play by Kendall might have been the play of the game because it was a momentum swing. You know, it was like one of those that, hey, if we don't get that ball, you know, everybody's, we turned it over, demoralized, and to jump on it, I thought it was, you know, incompletion. I'm thinking, well, what's everybody chasing the ball for? But we talk about it all the time. If you don't know, they don't know, they're going to let you play. So get on it, jump on it. And he did a great job doing that. He was really good today and did a great job, always does. In terms of the next week, I don't know. We're going to get back to work Monday. We got a lot of things we think we can improve on. We'll put this game to bed tomorrow, and we'll work on opponents for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday that we have, all our upcoming opponents. And, you know, we're going to just visit with the team and say, hey, look, you got to make a choice. You want to flat line, stay where you are, or you want to continue to ascend and get better? Because there is a lot of things that we can get better at, and we need to for this stretch run. And we also need to get healthy. I mean, we need to get some guys healthy.
Pat Forty, you have a question?
Yeah. Kirby, can a defensive player win the Heisman? And you've got so many good ones. Is there one that you all could promote?
You know, I don't know the answer to that. I would probably have said before the season that's impossible because statistics lead you to believe that it's always going to be an offensive player. In terms of numbers they put up, you know, I thought it was amazing last year that a receiver won it. I never thought that would happen again. Thought it would be a quarterback's world because that's the world we live in and play in. But I certainly think that when you look at the draft, people see it different. You know, like what is the Heisman? Is it the best college football players, the most dominant, is the most valuable? You can go through all these different things in terms of that, and we don't really care. We let you guys decide that, and I respect it, but it's not something that we look for. And I'll be honest with you, the guys on our team are so bought into their roles, and as long as they do that, we'll keep getting better. You know, my biggest fear is guys worrying about things like that and not the total team success.
Okay, Jake Rowe, and then we'll come to Chuck Culpepper.
Kirby, you've talked multiple times about wanting to be more explosive. I think you guys had, you know, I know you guys measure it your own way, but you had 9 plays offensively of 20 yards or more. What does that allow you to do, like offensively? How does that allow you to maybe open things up for other things within the offense?
Well, it probably allows you to go 2 of 7 on third down and still win the game. You know, you see that stat and it's spooky, but when you hear what you just said about the explosives, that's big. And we want to be an explosive football team, a dangerous football team. We feel like, at full strength with our wideouts, we can be really explosive. We thought coming into the year that was going to be one of the strengths of our team, and it's been an injured portion of our team. But we have quarterbacks to get them the ball. We have offensive line to protect. We have good backs. We just have to keep building and getting better and play cleaner football. I felt like today was one of the probably least clean offensive football games we've had in terms of not giving up negative plays and those kind of things and just hurting drives. But we accompanied it with explosive plays.
Yeah, Kirby,
Yes.
can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, your defense gave up 2 touchdowns for the first time this season. That would be a lot of people would throw a parade over something like that, but are they going to be mad? Is the standard so high that they're going to be mad over that?
I don't know that they'll be mad. I think they'll take the input the coaches give them. Like, we'll watch the tape and say, okay, why did they score? And if they beat us on the calls and they did better than we did and executed better, we tip our hat to them. If we didn't play real well, then they'll clean it up. But I know this, they played hard, they ran to the ball, and that's a really good football team. So I don't know how they'll react, but we will make sure they understand the truth. The truth is sometimes teams beat you and sometimes you give it to them. And I don't know exactly. I got to watch it and see, because some of those drives were pandemonium.
All right, let's go to Paul Newberry and then Catherine Lewis. Paul?
Yeah, hey, Kirby. What has stood out to you about the defense's performance over these first 7? I mean, it's so much. The numbers are kind of staggering when you go down the list, but what to you has stood out about this defense?
The buy-in. There's no selfishness. They buy in. Probably the other thing that stood out is the way they practice. My favorite part of the day is when you go into a meeting and all the kids start saying, give me a nugget, coach, give me a nugget. They want Dan and Schumann and Muschamp and Adai and Trey Scott to give them a nugget. The nugget is a note that might help me in the game. They boot to their left 10 more times than they boot to their right. That's a nugget. I'm going to take that and I'm going to use that some kind of way to make me better. When this player lines up here, this is the play that's coming. That's a nugget. And they embrace those nuggets. And there's a lot of college football teams that go in a meeting and it's like Charlie Brown and wah, 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 wah. We don't do that. We entertain, we play music, we challenge, we make guys stand up, talk. It's teaching. Now, please don't mistake it for good players. We got good players. But those things combined help, and I appreciate our staff, offense, defense, special teams, for the way they coach our players and teach our players.
Hey, Coach, I wanted to ask you specifically about your tight end room this season, how they've developed, coming from Darnell Washington being hurt and a freshman being one of the most influential players, and now Washington returning. How has that kind of developed so far?
Coach Hartley's done a great job. First, it starts with recruiting, go get good players, and then get them to buy into the team and buy into blocking and being selfless, and then buy into making plays when you get an opportunity. I think Coach Hartley, Coach Munkin, the whole offensive staff puts a plan together that off of our play action, our tight ends are weapons. They're size guys. They make plays down the field. And hey, let's give Stetson some credit. He threw a ball in there on Fitz. I think it was Fitz down the sideline. It was a great play. And then Brock's play in the end zone. And then he hit Darnell, which if he had thrown it a little higher, Darnell probably would have caught it and ran with it. But those are all good balls. And we've got a good, talented tight end room. And as long as they buy in to the team first concept, then we got a chance to be successful. But Brock missed a couple blocks a day. So I had to get on Brock a little bit. He missed a big key block that hurt us on a play that probably could have put the game out if we score there instead of having to kick a field goal.
Okay, let's go Davis Baker, and then we'll see if Michael Cunningham has a question.
Hey, Coach, do you think that the adversity that you guys faced specifically at the end of the first half will help you guys down the line? Were you satisfied with the way that you guys came out in the third quarter?
Never satisfied. I hate to say it. I hate that word because, satisfied is arriving. I'm not satisfied. I'm pleased with the effort. We're going to have adversity, guys. You're not going to play in the SEC without adversity. It's how you respond to it. And I didn't think our guys blinked. I didn't think anybody was panicking. I mean, every game's not going to come out and just, jump all over people. They got good players too. They got good plans. And I thought these guys came out, played really hard against us, and it was a hard fought game. And we feel like if we keep chopping wood, eventually we'll make more plays than the other team. I just don't know how long that's going to take. And we believe that no matter how long it takes, we'll make more plays.
Michael Cunningham, do you have a question?
Yes, Coach, you said this is the first time you ever had a close game at halftime since Clemson, really. And you said that you didn't think that your guys were panicking. What did you see from them that made you confident that, they were going to be okay?
Well, the players were talking to each other. They were talking about composure and talking about what can we do to do better and settling down. And there was nobody really rattled. I mean, it was they had the first possession of the game, and we ended on a take a knee. So we were a couple possessions short of where we wanted to be, and we knew what we could do to improve. And they had one really good drive on offense. So there was no panic there. We make adjustments and go play.
Okay, let's go to Palmer Toms and then to Dennis Dodd.
Kirby, y'all stopped Kentucky's run game today and forced them to be one-dimensional. How important was that for success on defense?
Yeah, it was big. Anytime you control the line of scrimmage, it's huge. I still don't know run stats because, again, we talk about this every week, but they throw the sacks in there. So in my mind, they ran the ball better than most people do against us. I'm not looking at 27 for 51. I'm looking at 27 for whatever the rush was. But we did not give up explosive. We tackled well. I thought on these guys on the perimeter, when they spit that ball out to one, you better get two guys there because a one-on-one tackle with one is tough. We controlled him. 50% of his touches so far this year were explosive plays. That's crazy. So that was big for us to limit that.
Yeah, Kirby, if Stetson keeps playing at this level and if and when JT gets healthy, how do you evaluate that position?
We evaluate that position like we do every single position. We go to practice, we do third down period, we do 2-minute, we ask questions in meetings. We do everything just like a normal position. So we evaluate that position just like we do corner, left tackle, everything. Now, it is different in the management of it. I get it in terms of reps and things, but we evaluate the same way. I mean, I'm proud of the way Stetson played, and I'm hopeful that JT gets healthy as soon as possible.
And also, this is just a layman's observation, but are you trusting him more? Throws downfield, sideline stuff that obviously when he first started, you wouldn't have had him do.
Stetson?
Yeah.
Stetson that way. I don't see it as, they've opened up the offense for Stetson. I mean, I can go back case in point to games, where he threw the ball quite a bit. There's been games we didn't throw it with him, but it wasn't a lack of trust.
Mm-hmm.
It was, I think of Kentucky last year. I felt like we run the ball every play last year against Kentucky, but it was what we could do to win the game. It's what we thought gave us the most success. And I remember the opening drive against them last year. I think we ran the ball every play down the field. And it wasn't a lack of trust. I mean, we trust Stetson, and I thought Stetson threw the ball, in the Alabama game. He threw the ball in some other games. So it's not like a maturation process. It's more about what the defense has given us and who's healthy on offense.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, we got time for 3 more questions. We'll go to David Ubben and then Connor Riley and finish with Allison Mastrangelo.
Kirby, how would you describe Jordan Davis's impact on your defense?
Godzilla-like. I mean, he's impactful. I mean, he's the immovable object. He buys into staying healthy and keeping his weight down. He's a really good player, and he's bought into that. He's he understands it's important. And the young man is under tremendous microscope in terms of media. I mean, for a D lineman, right? Maybe not for a quarterback, but for a D lineman, he's under a big microscope, and he does everything he can to the best of his ability. He works hard for us. And he's been impactful in stopping the run and allowing us to play, alternative coverages that you can't do sometimes when people can run the ball on you. So he's definitely a bright spot. And more importantly, he's very, very entertaining in meetings, and he's a great personality. And people that don't know him should get to know him because he's just fun to be around, embracing.
Hey, Kirby, what's in your opinion been the big difference, or not big difference, but the improvements that Stetson Bennett has made? What has sort of enabled that to where this year as a starter, he's 4-0 and 10 touchdowns, 0 interceptions in those starts?
Experience, a better defense. He's grown up some. He's made some, he threw the ball today away on 3rd down. That was smart. But I don't know. Y'all tell me, because I thought the guy played pretty good last year. I mean, he got beat. We got beat by the national champion with him at quarterback, and we didn't play real good on defense. And then he was playing pretty good against the team that won the SEC East, and he took a shot and hurt his shoulder. So I don't know that this is like all a new premonition that he's just all of a sudden gotten better. I think that he's a very effective quarterback. He's very bright. He can run with his legs. He understands what Monken's trying to do.
Kirby, I want to follow up on the nuggets that you were talking about in practice. Is that like a once a week thing? Is that an everyday thing? Is that for everybody on the team? I'm really curious by that. And also, what are you looking forward to the most this weekend, having off, just to do with your family?
Well, I don't know that I'll get any time off because tomorrow we got all these recruits here. So we'll be recruiting and we'll be watching tape. I look forward to the weekend next week. Maybe that's what you were asking. Next weekend, I'll have some time to watch games and go recruit. I love going to recruit and seeing high school kids and being in that atmosphere. That's great. The Nuggets is daily. So when we go into the meeting, we don't ever sit in a meeting more than 30, 35 minutes because like you guys, the attention span of our players is only about 15 to 20 minutes. So this interview itself has probably put you guys to sleep. But for our players, they can't handle not getting nuggets, not getting music, not getting Schumann to stand up and define what elite is, or what the nugget of the day is, that hey, when they're in 4 strong load, it's 100% run. They enjoy those nuggets. I think some of them think of it as being hungry, so they like to eat at our place.
Thank you, Coach Smart.
Thank you, y'all.